When examining the monumental legacy of ancient Rome, the aqueducts, the Colosseum, the far-reaching network of roads, one often overlooks a far more modest yet essential achievement, the public toilet, or latrina. In this episode, we explore how these public toilets functioned, the sometimes unorthodox tools they employed, and the social customs that surrounded them. We also encounter moments of superstition and even tragedy, such as the account of a gladiator who ended his life using a latrine's cleaning sponge. To understand this communal and surprisingly advanced aspect of Roman daily life, we turn to the ruins of Ostia Antica, the well-preserved port city that once served as Rome's maritime gateway to the Mediterranean. Ostia Antica, located near the mouth of the Tiber, was a city of merchants, sailors, and craftsmen living in densely packed quarters. For many of its inhabitants, the act of relieving oneself was a public affair, carried out in large communal latrines. These structures reflected the intersection of urban engineering, sanitation, and the Roman view of social life. The benches, often made of marble or stone, were lined with U-shaped openings. Beneath them ran a continuous flow of water, which carried waste away into the sewers below. This system was typically connected to local water supplies or runoff channeled from the nearby aqueduct network, echoing the design of the great Cloaca Maxima in Rome. In front of the benches, another shallow channel carried a smaller stream of water. That channel had a specific and somewhat unappealing role. It carried water used to rinse the tersorium. The tersorium served as a cleaning implement used after relieving oneself. Users would rinse it in the running water before and after use. Whether sponges were individually owned or shared remains debated, though it is certain that the same water channels served everyone in the room. Since the water flowed in one direction, those unfortunate to be seated downstream inevitably rinsed their sponges in water already used by their neighbors above. Despite this, the arrangement itself reveals much about Roman hygiene. Practical, efficient, yet far removed from modern notions of personal cleanliness. Privacy in these spaces was virtually non-existent. Communal latrines could accommodate a dozen or more individuals sitting side by side with no partitions between them. In such settings, conversation was common. Romans might exchange news, discuss politics, or even conduct business while seated. The poet Martial offers a wry observation about this lack of modesty in his epigrams, mocking a friend who never stopped reading aloud.
You read to me as I stand. You read to me as I sit. You read to me as I run. You read to me as I shit.
Public latrines, or foricai, were common features across Roman cities. They were often located near baths, marketplaces, or forums, places where people gathered. Their proximity to public baths was particularly practical, since the same water systems could serve both facilities. In addition to public foricai, some apartment buildings, or insulae, had small shared toilets, while others relied on chamber pots emptied into the streets below. Private latrines also existed in wealthy Roman houses. They were typically positioned near kitchens or service areas, often built above cesspools or connected to the public sewer system. These conveniences were reserved for the elite, who rarely needed to use the communal foricai. Their existence reflects both privilege and the complexities of maintaining sanitation in densely populated environments. Yet despite their functionality, Roman toilets were far from pleasant places. They were often dark, humid, and poorly ventilated. The combination of odor and noise must have been overpowering. Ancient writers and archaeological evidence both suggest that such places carried a sense of unease. The Romans believed that evil spirits, called lemures or larvae, lurked in these foul spaces, waiting to harm the unwary. To protect themselves, users sometimes invoked deities such as Fortuna or Venus Cloacina, the purifying Venus, whose name itself was linked to the sewers of Rome. Superstition, sanitation, and social interaction thus coexisted in a single space, and occasionally tragedy found its place there as well. The philosopher Seneca records a grim story of a German gladiator who, to escape another appearance in the arena, took his own life inside a latrine.
There, driven by desperation, He took the stick that, attached to a sponge, is used to clean the impurity of the body, stuffed it all into the throat, and drowned.
The passage is both dark and revealing. In a world where public life extended even to bodily functions, the latrine could, for a desperate man, offer a final moment of solitude. Just like today, graffiti was found on the walls of Roman latrines. They reveal humor, complaints, and even political remarks, small but vivid traces of the people who once used them. Maintenance workers, known as foricariae, kept these spaces functional by clearing blockages and ensuring the sewers continued to flow. Their work was more important than we often imagine, since even the most advanced systems in Rome depended on constant, unseen labor. The latrines of Ostia Antica tell us much about Roman society. They demonstrate a mastery of hydraulic engineering and urban planning, but also a communal approach to living that blurred the line between public and private. They remind us that hygiene, religion, and social life were intertwined in ways unfamiliar today. Though a humble structure, the Roman latrina captures the practical and communal spirit of life in the ancient city. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history videos every week.